14 here.
14 on yours. Hello, this is the Playground Experience. Welcome. I got my lovely co-hosts here, April Williams and Kathy D. All right, we're just chatting it up about these current energies, and I love what we're saying right there. The new word is push. And not in like you're giving birth, it's like you getting pushed like somebody got their back and say, boo. Okay, I'm moving. Thank you. I was about to move. Thank you. You didn't quite have to do that to me. And that's the type of push that we're getting from the universe. A lot of things. I know I was watching the channel and I want to kind of requote some of the things that I did see where they talk about the current energy, saying there's a lot of anxiousness going on, which is true. I have felt that too as well. Some of us dealing with some past life stuff or PTSD stuff. That's they were saying that we got to kind of get around where we've been traumatized and after the fact, and how we got to be able to deal with it because it has really has colored and shaped our world as to what affecting us now, how we having our movement, how we're having our being, how we're doing things. And so a lot of that stuff is kind of getting up. So that might be why we get that extra push from the back. I feel like somebody like a boot and say out there. From I wouldn't say that it's coming too much from the angelic side or the guides. It looks like it's other things that's kind of pushing, but of course, all things work out for the betterment of our good. That's what they're saying. It doesn't matter who doing the pushing because it's needed. In all seriousness, although I'm joking about it, but it is. This week has been kind of like up and down. There has been openings of opportunities too. I've seen some things. It's like, okay, like a person jumping double dutch, like it's move opportunities. Like, yeah, go. I'm sending you and I'm opening up a way for you to go ahead and like, this is the time, like now. No, I mean like now, like jump now. And that's probably because of the 12/12 portal that everybody's saying is happening on Sunday, which is an opportunity of, remember, 12 means to get things in divine order. So it is. That's why you're getting that push. And that's why you're getting that also that extra like, the doors is open. I've been working on this for so long. All of a sudden, this been 5 years. Now everything is coming together. So that's because of the portal too, as well, the 12/12. So if you're feeling that happening and occurring, that's another reason. But it's just been a lot of really like, well, like we said earlier before we got on there, it's like, and there's more. I'm like, what? I thought I was finished. No, I mean, like, there's more. Kathy B had a cute little thing that she did. I love the little spiel that she was doing, almost like a commercial. I'm like, that's how you feel. I'm like, for $9.99, you can get childhood wounding. And then remember, it's something that your mom did back then in 1972. And then you also, it's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like, where in the hell is this coming from?
And for a limited time, you can have past life child wounding but call now in the next 5 minutes to act.
Yeah, so all of these lovely things are coming up now. And like I said, it's because of this newness that we're getting ready for. You can feel the mad push to getting rid of things. So that's it. I think somebody was talking about, I know the new Matrix is coming up in December. What was that? Living Infinite Waters are saying kind of watch it because it kind of tells you about what's going to happen next in the world. So, that's what's going on my side of the pond. Yeah, that's pretty much it that's going on. So I'm pass over to the ladies and let them, while I try to get some people and tell the word on we're live now. So I'm going to pass it on to either Kathy D or April. It doesn't matter. Hey, Mimi.
We love you, Mimi.
Hello, Mimi.
So yeah, definitely getting the shaft this week from the universe. And not the nice parts. We're learning about the dark feminine energies. We're learning about the cosmic interplay of time and the illusion of time and the collapsing of timelines and the the interesting clearing and pressurizing of the diamond. It's like the diamond matrix, we call it right now. The diamond initiation protocol. And just when you think you're wiggling out of it, you get another press. And all of your bones start to crackle and the spaces in between. And then you take a deep breath, and there's still more universe left in you. There's still more fire. There's still more power calling you back together.
Mm.
um, it has been one beautiful, progressive week. And I'm thankful for that. I'm pushing through like personal hurdles and learning a lot more about how the cosmic interplay is right now. And so, like I say, there's several ways to get to the number 9. So I think we're all taking things in a best to stride as possible, and really fighting our way through it. I don't know. There's a dance, there's a fight, there's a fall, there's a surrender, there's a what now and what next, and you know, really hollowing out and clearing the old path. I myself have fueled up my week by committing to my practice every day. You know, the practice we say we're going to do, right? This week was, there might have been a little flaw here and there, but I committed to the practice, the movements, the nutrition, and it's really opening up more spaces for the creativity to come through, because all of us can feel the crunch of this gate to kind of get us in line and get distractions out of the way. But we're being paved into what we want to see in this world. We're being paved into, or like just pressed into the mold that is us. And we're refining. I feel like it's a refining process. Like we're getting clearer in thought, clearer in pattern. Um, and our actions are following suit, and we're actually standing up for ourselves and being in present and realizing there's some shenanigans going on behind the scenes here, because some of the stuff you think it kind of is just, wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to work like this, but you're saying it doesn't work like that at all. And we're seeing where our systems are failing us, right? Because it's a time for us to rebuild that structure, rebuild that connection and that relationship, rebuild our communities and our friendships, and just our communication styles, because all of us are going through something. The new ones that are coming in, they're coming in fresh, and they know when stuff ain't right, they can call it out. But we've been taught to suppress it for so long, or turn it into other things, that finding it's all muddied water. It's like I see muddied water and I see storks. But once you sit still, you can fish. You can find out what the actual thing is that you are to, I guess, consume, relate to, nurture you. Because are we finding love in like toxic places or toxic habits, or are we finding like our comfort and peace in things that aren't actually peaceful long run? Or are we actually like cultivating what we need and processing old wounds, and like taking the waves of it? Because it seems like even life itself is pushing us into something. Everyone, there's nobody that's not moved. Nobody's just like, things are great, nothing's going on. If you're doing that right now, oh, the wave is coming, honey. And energetically, today was like download day of a and a half. Like it felt like I was in an elevator, in a really hot elevator, for a little while. But I think I'm starting to, with my stretching, pull in the energetic body and start to work through the energetic flows. It's really, really interesting. I mean, I only get a few moments between baby and stuff to actually do the body stretching and the taking care of itself. Um, but when I do, I go all hard, y'all. I go deep in there because I'm ready, and you get that connection. It's good. It's good. Had to process some hardness today, hardness this week. But if anybody knows about processing some crazy hardness, she took us on a roller coaster before our show. You guys were spent already. You don't even know.
Oh, yes. Amen. Ditto.
So what are you, tell us about the energies.
Well, the energies are, as you know, we've all heard and seen and felt. They're quite interesting. They're quite crazy at times. Um, the main thing is those lessons we've been waiting to learn. Those ones we've been asking, why am I still here? What is going on? I think I got it. I think I got it. And like April says, we come back and we know that, no, another lesson for you, act now or we're going to make you go through the cycle again. And, they're coming to the point where it's like, you just start asking, make it plain, make it clear. I gotta, I need out of this. I've got to get out of this. And, things are becoming very clear, and they're coming up about those fears, all of that, the childhood wounding and things like that you've worked on, that you've recognized, that you're healing. We understand we're never fully healed from this. We're always, progressing with it. But as we have gotten to like an 80-20 kind of thing, we know that some of those things we have to just release and just let the universe, let the angels, let the powers that be, handle it as it needs to be. We have to remember we're protected. We're divinely protected. And that, we're safe to speak our truth and to stand in our truth. And for me, I had a big situation of fear. And so, and it was two sides. It was a fear of rejection, and it was almost a fear of retaliation, a fear of pain. And so I had to finally step up and say, yep, not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be afraid. And when I let that go, it was one, when I finally let the ladder of the fear go, it was a really, really rough evening. And but when we were through it and we were on the other side, it was one of those, why did I hold on to that for so long? What was it doing for me? Absolutely nothing. It was like a noose around my neck. I needed to get rid of it. What was I afraid of? What was my biggest fear that was going to happen? And then when you actually then step back and you look at that fear and you look at it from the other person's side, the fear was always, to cause harm or something. There were words, cause harm to the DM. And he realized that that's how he controlled me, by saying those things, because he did realize how much I love the DM and that I would do anything to protect him. And he knew that that would keep me right where I was, because I didn't want him to cause him any trouble. And when I finally saw that, I was like, oh, you rascal. That's just dirty. That's reverse psychology at the best, And so when I let that go and I saw that what he did, then, it's almost like, pulling back the curtains on the Wizard of Oz, you see what a little tiny man he actually was. That he wasn't this great and mighty, powerful Oz. And it makes things so much easier then to handle. You're not, worried about the retaliation when it comes out, because you're just, what are you going to do? What, you're not going to do anything, because your biggest fear is losing, what you say you love so much. So, those realizations are out there in that energy right now. But then there are also really good things happening with the DM, and as things are moving and progressing, and they are, as we are learning our lessons about cycles we need to get rid of. Some are coming into understanding that the cycles that they're stuck in are not a good thing to stay in either. And so, a lot of, I know at least with me and my DM, and I know it's right now with the energies, it's different for a lot of people, but I know that we're mirroring very heavily. Um, right down to a stupid argument about the grocery store. So, but literally marrying right down to that point. And so, yeah, it's everybody's getting a little bit different depending on where they are. And I think this is where we're really seeing we can't compare our journey to someone else's. Somebody's like, everything's wonderful with my DM. He's fantastic. We're moving in together. This is not me, but they're saying these things, and I can't be like, well, why? Um, we've got to know the only thing we can compare our journey to is our journey yesterday. Is it better? Are we moving forward? Are we progressing in our own speed, at our own way? And if you are, then you're progressing. If you're not, maybe it's time to look at some things and see, where are you not progressing personally, where are your blockages, what's going on, those kind of things. But we really see, even though we're not alone, we have, our soul families and stuff, but we really are seeing our individual journeys at this point. It's becoming very clear that this is not right now it's not a big collective thing, because where we have the really strong tones of the energy and the different things going on, then when you kind of break them down more and more, that's when we start having all of these strands of different things going on. I think because everybody's kind of at a different place and have done different work, and we all had different woundings. If we all had the same woundings, this would be extremely simple. Divine Sunshine could have written the book 3 years ago. We all would have followed it step by step, and everybody would have been in union, and we would have been eating crumpets and not been here. But because it is a very individualized process, that's why we all need April's book, and so we can all heal our individualized problems, and our issues, our blocks. And so you have to buy that book now, and to heal, so we can all be eating crumpets, in 6 weeks from now. So
Yes, and I'm excited to publish this book. It's coming out on the 21st, so it'll be out on a couple platforms. I'm gonna start being more consistent with my videos. I've been obsessing with my book, and you know how perfectionism is. So I decided to make it a living book. And I'm going to structure my book so that it keeps growing with the more people that experience it, the more herbs that come in, the more collection of materials, because I'm basically going through helping you understand genetics, basic genetics. I'm having it come from I had PCOS, right? I got rid of it, and I was able to do that naturally. Spirit just took me through the process. Now, I didn't realize I was doing that until I started toxifying myself again and putting myself in old patterns and habits, and put myself in a state of um, internal emergency, like I had when I was originally diagnosed with the process. But I skipped from A to Z because I had gone through the entire experience through yoni steaming, through the shadow work, through the journaling, through the process of, and I take you through the process of really breaking down and connecting with your own energy, your own energetics, and your genetics, using mindfulness practices, breathing practices, and nutrition. And I do my best to make it sustainable for people to start taking in piece by piece. And you can come at it from several different directions in your life, right? Because there's several ways to get to the number 9. You could add, subtract, multiply. You can even do a little exponent. You can even do a kind of rooting, or like a cube, like what is it? A cube root. You can get it. You can get there in several different ways. Even a multi-stepped problem. So everybody's healing is different, and I give you several different healing modalities within the book. So I even am putting some free meditations to go with it that you can use in your own practices. These practices are particularly for women who are ready to take back their own self-care and have commitment to bettering their bodies, and knowing that it's not an overnight quick fix thing. It's a process, and it's constantly evolving, and it evolves with you. And I also kind of go through how to have that conversations with those around you, your loved ones, so that you can make that healing process together and easier, because we're a community, we're family, we are growing in this way. And yeah, thank you so much for mentioning my book. Now I'm going to mention somebody has a course coming up. Tell us a little bit more about that. I hear it's about the seven deadly sins. And in these dark ages, as we are now birthing into the new golden age, tell us about how do we clear these seven deadly sins?
Yeah, so my course that I'm coming up with, which will be Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time, that'll be 12:12 doing the portal, so we can understand what the seven daily sins, how they affect us on our journey. So we got all of the ones because Spirit told me to start there so we can understand Uh-huh. So if it's doing this, guess what? This is some important stuff that you need to sign up for on Sunday. And so yeah, what's happening? You looking at me? Mwah. Yeah. So make sure that you are there Sunday in the place because it's going to help you with your chakras, your childhood wounding. It's going to help you also with helping you to stay in your flow as far as your energies, divine feminine, divine masculine energies, how certain sins like lust, where you want more, or if you're on the twin flame journey, when you talk about lust, like you wanting more being with your divine counterpart more, or you wanting also what they have or what's going on within the karmic situation and how that kind of stops you too on your journey as well. So, this is really good stuff. And for that interference to happen, that's really something to say, like, no, we don't want it to get out. So make sure that you show up on Sunday for the course because I'm excited about it. I'm going to do the first course first one just for an hour, just a little teaser, kind of like surveying kind of through the first lesson. I'm going to do that for an hour, and then after that it's going to be $77 if you want to. However, if you are on my mailing list, and I also added there for you to add on my mailing list, then I have a nice special where I have a more steeper discount for you that's good up until 12/15. But you got to go make sure that you're on my email list, and that's listed on my community tab too, to go there and to register so you can get that. So that's for a limited time too, and it's much cheaper. I got a couple of people that has taken advantage or planning to take advantage of that steep price that I have reduced it down to. So I'm not going to announce it. Get on the email and then you'll know, list, and then you'll know what I have reduced it down to. And that is about it. And you're not going to scare me and saying what I'm going to do Sunday. So hey, that's not going to work. Take that back because I got to be here to release people from their childhood wounds, ancestral clearing, and just being a dynamic them. So don't try it. That's it. Okay. Back to you all in the studio.
Y'all know
Well,
about a full channel because that was partially a full channel. Just saying.
Yes, they tried. Don't even do it no more. Ongoing. Don't even try. So yeah, that's it. Anything else that we broke in between, which is good because a lot of times people leave at the end and they don't really get to hear our community tab either to see what great things we're doing. You doing anything, Kathy D?
well, I have my Reiki up on the Fiverr,
Okay.
and so I've got that up, and just right now, trying to get through midterms. For the first time you have to write a high school midterm. It's loads of fun
Oh
because
yeah.
you got all kinds of children begging you, please don't make it hard, please, I need this credit, please, please. And then you're sitting there second guessing yourself on your midterm. But so I've been a little preoccupied with school. But one thing I wanted to say too is, don't, and this is something that I think happens a lot of times too when we are like, Divine Sunshine was talking about, when we're in those areas of just really missing our twin, our other half, that kind of stuff. Um, don't second guess your intuition. So many of us have so many beautiful clairs, and we need to allow them to flow. And one of the things allow them to flow freely is to trust. And the reason I say this is, because finally in the 3D, the divine masculine has figured out that we have very strong telepathic communication, and he has been, for lack of words, playing with it to see if it really works. And that's been interesting. I have to reset my boundaries, like, not while I'm at school. Nope. Your higher self knows the deal. Now you have to know the deal. You just, nope, can't do that. um but it's nice because, just little things like, he'll send, it's just send a question, you know and then like, I'll get a picture flash in my head, and it's like, okay, choose. And then in the 3D world, then, when we're talking, I'll say something about it, oh, I really like this one, or this was my favorite of the two. So he's getting really strong clarification and confirmation that our telepathy is working. So, be open to these things. You're not as much as, and every one of us can tell you, we all have a different story, that we thought that something was maybe a little off kilter with our brains, when a lot of times this stuff started to really come in. Um, but just stand strong, because it's coming.
It's easy to say, it's can be difficult to do. I want to give you
Should have built up a belt. Somebody need a whooping. Why you taking so dang on now?
it. There is a bit of discipline to it. There's a bit of
Mhm.
like pushing yourself, or like, that was the whole theme, right? The push. And it can be voluntary or it can be universal crunched, and you can flow together so it's pleasurable, you know but a lot of us have been conditioned otherwise, and so we're squishing those parts out too. We're pushing all that
Mhm.
consciousness that kind of keeps slipping us back in the first place, I guess. So now we're saying, okay, here we are in this situation. And we get to decide what it's more like seeing the abundance of the universe,
Mhm.
seeing that things have to move and flow in a different way, right? I explained it to someone, I think it was the sweet bonita earlier, that it's like the water that comes to the top of the mountain, it's going to get to the bottom of the mountain, whether it has to wear down the rock or if it has to trickle through the soil. The water comes through, and then it goes down and then disperses, and the water just keeps coming, and the consciousness just keeps coming, and the vibration just keeps rising. So we just keep going through that crunch and refinement and crunch and refinement until we just allow ourselves to breathe in. And when we actually take that breath, like, just take a breath, you feel the presence of the connection. You feel the presence of the oneness. You feel the presence of the unity. And it's not uncomfortable. Like the outward matrix is attempting to make the unity uncomfortable when it's not sustainable to flow that way. And as we all are going towards sustainability, whether that's emotional, because we're cutting out emotional vampires, even if their thoughts, we're calling, pulling out uh, ancestral curses, they're calling them, or ancestral wounding, ancestral trauma. We're calling out um, all of these pieces that people are attempting to suppress with, um, just more stuff, more entertainment, more, these things, these distractions. Because if you want to feel and experience something more fully, you have to go to places that you're scared of going, not in a way to traumatize yourself, but in a way to expand your capacity for love, capacity for enjoyment, divinity, connection. You know, and when you want to give yourself wholeheartedly, there is some clearing that has to happen, unless you're just fresh out the womb. And even then, because you're based on what's happened to the mother and during that process, and the father and the environments that they were in. All of these things are sitting on us, or in us, or around us, and we're flowing to make that as best as possible for the next gen, for ourselves and the next gen. Just being able to talk about some of the things you've been holding really frees you. And if you feel like you're carrying something, like you especially know when you have pain in the body, there's usually a repeating thought or a repeating process that happens. And you start to kind of shut down and compress and curl in. Or even if it's leaning on one side or the other side, or if it's like shoving things in your mouth for comfort, or Freaky Friday edition, just polishing one off until you like you can't, you're just trying to make yourself feel better. And that's why people are turning to drugs and all this other stuff to numb out. But none of that stuff is really working right now, because we're all having to look in the mirror of everything, not only ourselves but like society. Like, there's still such a huge stratification between the rich and the poor. I mean, rich and poor. Genocides happen. Like, there's all kinds of craziness in this world. We have people that there's so much corruption. And so now, where can we clear that within us voluntarily, so the external world can mirror that as well? And some people are in denial, which is pretty much a river in Egypt as well.
Am I on? Okay, yeah, I'm still on. Yeah, they said with the Sagittarius energies that's coming on, what with the eclipse, it's already happened or whatever. I can't keep up because I'm off. Sometimes I'm on different timelines. Like, when was the ninth, or was it 12th? When did it
We should
happen?
talk about that. Timelines are converging hardcore right
Right,
now.
I can't tell you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a second. I go up to the board. I say, wait a second. I looked up there on the board. I didn't even change the date. I'm still thinking it's the ninth. I'm asking, what year is it? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
come on now. You know, even mom talking to her, I told her, I said, don't worry about it. You probably on another timeline. Talked to Benita. She was talking about it. I said, don't worry about you on another timeline. So that's been kind of really hardcore. But definitely with the Sagittarius energies, we really is that push for freedom, and definitely with that. And so a lot of these things that's coming up is like, we really want freedom from everything that is also happening with us, that's ancestral, or what you're talking about, that from these systems, from whatever it is, like injustices that's going on. So we're getting like this real big push for this thing, that anything that's like chaining us up. I also feel that really with us, that's going on with us, is a lot of vocalizing what's going on, and wanting that freedom in there, that freedom of speech, freedom of saying things. Hey, that ain't right. That's not really aligned. You really shouldn't be doing that. And we really are pushing ourselves to be able to do that, to really reach for that freedom, because of that Sagittarius energies that we have going on. Um, I'm trying to see, is there anything else that they're saying that they want me to kind of touch upon at all? Oh, she left. Okay. Um,
Maybe it's the internet. You know how it is by her spot.
Yeah. I know about that. I didn't think she left. She left. With that because I seen that already with the internet on this end. But that's right. It was interesting coming home. It was like pitch dark. Like I thought I was coming home. It's 3:30, and it felt like I was coming home at like 9:30 at night. Because we're
Wow.
supposed to have some windstorms, so that might have been what was going on too. I forgot about that.
Sounds like a little bit more than a windstorm if it's
Yeah,
pitch
we
dark
supposed
at 3:30.
hurricane. They say we might have a tornado. The winds.
What's your little dog? What's your little dog too? You better put them ruby slippers on, girl, because we're about to take a trip to April in Wonderland. Because you're about to go down the rabbit hole with me. Because we're late for a very important date.
Where my red like he's on down road. He's on that road. Right. So
the matrix, the stuff. Oh my gosh! Today I felt like I was plugged in, like just completely plugged in. Anything I threw into it was being dissolved. And so, in terms of what we can alchemize right now, what we can shift for ourselves to fully step into it, it's really about harnessing whatever is your particular weakness. And it's probably a combination of the three, the mind, body, spirit, and their interaction on a regular basis. So, if you have any type of practice from meditation, incorporate movement, any kind of positive affirmations, working with your subconscious, right? Noticing any patterns, because it's time to clear that to step into this new age. And I know that we're all flag holders in that. And that's been a really interesting yet comforting experience, coming into one's power, coming into one's own. It's terrifying. Who is ready to say, yes, I know this. Yes, I have the power. Yes, I'm ready. Let me see in the chat. Who's ready? Who's ready to take themselves on? Who's ready to know that they are the everything? Let me see if I can get the live chat.
I'm everyone.
I guess looks like we're ready. Who's ready? Nobody. You know why? Because that's what it feels like.
Well, work in progress. We have not reached the ending destination yet.
No one even went for it. Who's ready? Nobody. This is not what we're doing.
Ready. No, I'm not ready.
I don't even know what we're ready for. So,
right.
Just to take on themselves, just to be 100% in that. The eye roll says it all, folks.
Not I say to fly.
But for 1995, we'll send you a partner that will speed up everything, and you'll have to go through it twice as fast to get out of the cycle.
You know what, though? A Band-Aid rip. The Band-Aid rip always sounds exciting. But nobody ever wants to do it.
Okay.
Unless it's to somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
We're always like, oh, here, come here. I'll just rip it off.
Right. That's true.
No problem.
Yeah. My children are like, no, it hurts. No, stop. I don't want to. Just come here. And and then you look at it and go, look at all those little hairs I got from off your arm. And they're like, ah, and screaming and rolling on the floor. And you're like, what's the problem? Universe comes to rip your Band-Aid off. No, I'm doing myself. No.
No, the way you do it, little Kathy, it doesn't work. It takes too long.
Yeah, they usually wind up sitting on me and then jerking it off and then sitting there going, look at all those little hairs we got. Nice.
See how I feel when it's done to you. Not so easy, lemon squeezy.
Until it's over, and then you're like, after you've let it settle, and then you're like, I'm so glad you did that because, man, I was going about it the painful way.
Right. Just like I'm just one little thing, Anytime.
I'm just gonna lift it up just a little. I'm gonna put a little water on it, and I'm gonna rub. I'm gonna hold the skin, and I'm gonna try to peel with the other finger. Because you're just
Right.
gonna kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold your breath.
Heck, you're doing Lamaze breath on some of them, depending on where the Band-Aid is.
Placement of it is.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right. Oh my God.
But if you step into it boldly and you think about it for a minute, maybe you get the Band-Aid soaking wet, or maybe you rub a little lotion around it. The oil helps the rubber not stick as much. You can prep that Band-Aid, baby, and then it doesn't feel like it's ripping off. And that's what you got to do when you step into it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like with the waves, so when the waves come, this is what somebody taught me when I first came. If waves get big, you don't just stand there. You either turn sideways so it breaks it up, or you dive into it. It's just the
Oh.
water's coming, y'all. Because we're going to, unfortunately, I think a lot of us will be a little heartbroken about a lot of the things that we're learning, right? We're already heartbroken because we're having a lot of people transition, but our hearts are breaking open even more when we find out that, things ain't just quite right, that's as much as I could say.
Okay.
I've got anyway. The internet.
Well, we got you. You talk about the
Internet. We realized it was censored since now-ish.
Right.
But
the panda.
exactly, until it happens to you. And then all you can see is like the mind fluff they want you to see. Like, I don't even have the Kardashians or any celebrities. Why are they pushing this at me? It's very interesting, right? But that being said, if you learn how to work with the waves, if you learn how to work with these emotions, with this stuff that's coming in, it's being here to trigger you into actually working your light body, like integrating spirit, like clearing it out, right? Because if you hold on to the injustice, if you hold on to these things that make you uneasy, it becomes dis-ease overall.
Right.
Now, this is an understanding of the multiple layers of how words actually do manifest in the body and how words can be utilized. So where do you find ease? Where do you find pleasure? Where do you find safety? Where do you find these spaces? And let them become in body, in the healthiest version of you, in the most peaceful version of you. Or what do you want to feel for the rest of your life, right? And pleasure and abundance and connection. Well, you got to clear the stuff that makes you not feel that way. So until we don't see homeless people on the streets, none of us are going to feel secure in our own home. You know what I mean? We're not going to feel secure because we think that there's a possibility of these things. Until we have safety for all women, then we're going to really feel that connection, because we are mirrors of the earth too, right? She is telling us that things ain't quite right. There is a matter of forming balance, and it's time we take our power back. And I like that through the body, through the alchemy, through the yoni steaming, and then working the mind of the emotions and the childhood trauma. I know that Divine Sunshine's she's got her course coming up. She also has some beautiful work that she put out for us for healing childhood wounding and trauma. So check that out. I've got some energy healings on there on my channel from back in the day. I'm being summoned. I'll be right back.
Yes, I'll be in summer. Yeah. That was something else that you had said, and they were talking about that we got to work with, and I forgot just that quick. A lot of brain fry. It's like, what was I thinking about? What was I saying?
Yeah.
If there's a thought, even the kids have to step up. The word is, I'm like, dang, that's kind of bad. I got second graders filling in the blank for. But anyway,
well, the one thing too, even with the, like the brain fog, and we're all going through it. It's just there's, I think, so much downloading coming on, because we even went to a Christmas activity kind of thing that they were doing downtown, and both my youngest and I were having trouble. I mean, we were in a storm. We're like, oh, look at this and we just look at each other. I mean, and it was a common household word. We just couldn't
Right.
get it out. And then at one point I said, whoa, wait a minute. My energy is feeling really funky. Hold on a second. And I had to like rebalance. But one thing I did realize, I had not realized it till tonight. This was the first time the girls got to go to my school and see my new classroom and everything. And we walked in and they were like, oh, it smells good. It's neat. And I'm like, well, the last teacher that was here before me did a lot of energy work, was very much into meditation. And I said, she has really infused the room with that. And so I come in and I do my stuff on top of it, every day, just to kind of keep it, moving and doing as energy should. We talk about words are powerful. We talk about, the fact that spelling, spell, it means, it is, it's, as we walked through the halls of my school, my girls made the comment about, I know why you love being here. I know why you love teaching here. It feels so good here. We have quotes all over the walls.
Okay.
About the, you're stronger than you think you are, you're braver than you seem, you're smarter than you, all these one, just encouragement after encouragement. They have a big one in the hall, and I think it's important for like high schoolers, especially teenagers, that when they're in that mind frame, if you think back to when you were a teenager, whatever the coolest kid said, you're usually going to, believe. And, I do apologize to everyone that I was in high school with, because I was one of those cool kids. So I sent you a line of woohoo. But there's one, and it's a big quote, and it says, the only race here is the human race, and it's proven by our DNA. And I thought, what a wonderful quote to have with teenagers. You can move on from that, but it's a really nice stance to know that that's what the school stands behind. We're not, grouping you this way or that way. You are humans. And I think that's part of the reason we have a 90% graduation rate. But I mean, it's just all these beautiful, they have one quote that's right outside the guidance office, and I love it. And it says, you are too smart to be the only thing standing in your way. Want to talk about making you think? And I was just like, what? That's crazy. These quotes, and these are pretty adult quotes. I mean, they have pictures of Mahatma Gandhi hanging in the hall, and Jim Henson and John Lennon and Yoko Ono. I mean, all of these wonderful people that really made a difference in the world as we see it now. And all of these things are all through the school. And it's that kind of vibration. So you know what, if you're really having trouble, and I'm going to try it at my own home, and I'll come back and let everybody know how it's gone in a week. We'll do it as an experiment. Anybody that wants to join me for this, go ahead. In my room, I'm going to put these inspiring quotes that I love. Not as much for like the students. There are some, and I do love that one. You are too smart to be the only thing in your way. But just other things, what is meant for me is coming to me. I don't have to chase it, those kind of things. And I'm going to put those in my room, and I'm going to put them where they're visible. And I'm going to, where I can, see them and, kind of meditate on them. And, we'll see if it makes a difference in the energy in my room opposed to in the house. So if there's a room that feels off, my room doesn't feel off. My room usually feels really good, because that is my sanctuary. That's where my stuff is. It's where I meditate, do my Reiki and everything. But I just want to see how high I can get the energy here, and just see it. Really, let's put it. What's it gonna hurt? What's a little positivity floating around on a piece of notebook paper or typing paper or paper towel? I don't care, whatever, toilet paper, whatever you can find to write on. In the newspaper business way back when, we did most of our best work on napkins. So, whatever you can find, just write it down, cut it out, print it up, and let's see, because I really think that has a lot to do with it. And for my girls to pick up so quickly on how good a school feels. These are children that are still in school, and to say, this school really feels good.
Yeah.
It feels safe. It feels happy. I see why you love to come to work here because you're happy. I mean, I get bummed when I'm working on stuff. There are times I just sit in my room and I meditate and I do my Reiki and I plan out the next lesson. And it is just such a wonderful feeling. And I'll have the custodians come in and they'll say, well, we were going to mop tonight. You're going to have to leave. I'm like, I don't want to leave. How many people can actually say that you think at the end of the day, gee, I don't want to leave work? It feels so great here. I don't want to leave work.
No, 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 no.
And, 6 months ago, let alone a year ago, I was the first one out in the parking lot. And, by God, please don't stand in my way. I will run over you. And now I'm like, the thought of missing anything is like, I couldn't stand it. And it's not because I don't want to write the lesson plans. It's because I don't want to miss anything with my students, with, in that environment, in that energy. So let's all give that a try. If you've got an area that maybe is not so good, heck, you know what? If nothing more, put those positive quotes, self-love quotes up on your mirror.
Right.
So if you're coming in and you're looking and going, look at that. I'm still with Thanksgiving still hanging on. I got to get in that dress for Christmas, whatever you're saying to yourself, or look at that gray hair. Look at those crow's feet. You know what? Put all those positive comments on your mirror and let's see how that changes the way you see things and the way things feel.
Yeah.
Really feel them.
That came out in the reading that I did over on the Divine Unisource about that, about we got to do positive things to kind of really feel into ourselves. They also said about the other video I was looking at was talking about just what April just came back to me, which is a lot of movement, really alchemizing things through yoga, whatever it is, meditation, those things. This is the time for you to be able to really truly hone into that. A lot of self-care, that's been the buzzword, self-care too as well, because I was surprised. I went to a meeting and that was the first thing they had said, like self-care. If you got to take off and get you a wellness day, do the wellness day, because you come first. And all today I've been hearing that, like, take care of you, take care of you. If I hear that enough in the universe, that's usually something that we got to really tap into and really take heed to, that we need to really practice some self-care. It's another buzzword, but I can't remember at this time. But definitely that one, and getting ourselves really honed into grounding. I think it said a lot of 444 kind of things about. Also, I think Benita had mentioned that too, but I've been seeing that as well, and I've seen somebody else talk about that, about the 444 action, really grounding and rooting ourselves in there. This not only for our ancestors, but ourselves too as well. And a lot of people been talking about, like, really the cup of love too, especially when we're doing all of this energy, the connection. Like I said, I like how Leah said, no more saying work, because work makes it like, oh no, like it sounds like homework. And it's like everybody doesn't like home. We got homework for real. So really connecting with self, really deep in bonding with ourselves, and really getting to know. That's one of the things that we have to make sure that we are doing, that connecting with self and really grounding whatever that we are doing, that we are becoming truly one with the things that are happening, and not feeling ourselves that we have to stop and start filling out the cup for someone else. That's really been coming out. So, oh my God, they're using the same terminology. I mean, this is like layman's term, like people just using this layman, this anybody out there, Joe Blow on the street. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, no, just making sure that you can't do like Kathy D and I said, the oxygen mask. Let's make sure, especially with this day and age of things that's happening, everybody thinks that their stuff is a priority, and you got to kind of stop and say, no, I'm the priority. What you saying we gonna get to, and that's it. But a lot of people are trying to push because they're anxious, and because they're anxious feeling, people have a tendency like, no, do it now. No, do it now. And you're like, nah. I'm telling you, I don't feel like I need to do it now. You might feel like it's pressing, but I don't feel like it. I've got to wait until I feel one with doing that. And that's with everything, with yourself, on the workplace, in the world. It's a lot of pushing that. Do it now. Are you hearing it? Do you know? And it's like, nah, that's not really resonating with me right now. Not saying that maybe down the line, spirit might shift to say, yeah, okay, do X, Y, and Z. But right now, it's not that pressing. That's not the priority that's been laid to me in my spirit at this time about that. So that's why I wanted to share about that cup. I remember they saying that too about that. I'm hearing that everywhere. Most time, if I hear phrases over and over again, that's usually the universe is saying that's something that we need to kind of catch into that energy and that vibe as well about doing that on that one.
I liken it to everybody thinking everything's kind of like a one-click culture or like an instant fix, but things take time. It took time to get it to the state, right? You weren't born yesterday, and even then you weren't conceived the day before that. So like it takes time, and even though time is relative, we do need to take the space to get the process going. You don't just do 2 sit-ups and have a six-pack. You have
Right.
to kind of eat right and do yeah, drink water. Oh, that's funny. She said 6-pack is a pack of beer, right? No, it's an actual thing that
Damn.
almost every person could have if that was our priority.
You have a
And
6-pack
so
while doing sit-ups if you're, going to the wall.
I could go buy that. That's not a process. No,
but finding your groove, finding your space, even if that means setting your timer for 2 minutes and doing gratitude first thing, doing self appreciation for 2 minutes. Um, Even if it means like letting yourself feel the pain that you are avoiding for less than, I think it'll process probably faster than 2 minutes, but it takes so much time and energy to actually get yourself to the space where you're willing to clear it instead of just hearing the particular. Oh man, no hitting. It's the first time he's ever done that in my life. What's going on out there? What's going on out there? The world is in protest. The world is in protest. And then he hurt himself falling to the ground. Here. So I got some Play-Doh. It smells comforting and reminds me of things that help me feel like healing. What brings you to that safe space of comforting? Who has their baby blanket still? Anybody?
And a new box of crayons.
Oh yeah,
The
the good kind,
smell of
right?
a new box of actually Crayola crayons. We're not talking the
Exactly.
prang ones. We're
Oh,
not talking, the crazy art ones. No, we're talking Crayola.
Crayola. Crayola has some good stuff, man.
Make me really excited. Get me to 48 box.
Oh.
There's my love language. My box of crayons.
I like edible body paint. Just kidding. I don't know. I've never been that far. Never got that. I mean, we can't forget about Freaky Friday. We are adults on a playground. What do we do?
right, freaky.
I want to go on the swings. No, but just to swing though, because they're fun. That's funny. That metaphor for like liking the swings. Like you're just taking a look. You're sitting back and you're looking at the view. And when you have a real good pace going where it doesn't even feel like you're moving your legs at all, you're just enjoying the swing, looking at the park. That's the kind of space where you can get into the level of creation, where you can get into the level of coming back with the universe. Because there's this part where you're fighting, right? When you have that feeling she's talking about work, right? You feel like there's work to be done, so we avoid it. How do you help? Whoa, you gotta be careful of the cords, honey baby. Are you okay? Let me see. Oh baby. Yeah, but you've gotta learn the process. How do you learn to swing, right? You watch. Sometimes you get on, you feel it, you get pushed for a little while at first, and then you realize, oh, I can do this on my own. And I can go as high as I want, or as fast as I want, or as slow as I want. But You explore the swing, you explore how you do the process. It changes a little bit every time based on what it is that what you want out of the experience. The same thing happens with your life unless you've really beaten in a mindset. When you're clearing mind, when you're clearing patterns of the mind or clearing patterns in the body, it's good to do them together, which if we extrapolate that, it's good to do spirit at the same time. It's good to incorporate that and getting over the feeling crazy part, right? Because some of the stuff we're just like, did you? And the synchronicities and the numbers, but the and the
And remember, we're going to be getting a lot of these things that we have manifested, we have hoped for, we've wished for, we've prayed for, we've begged for, we've cried for, are going to start coming in. And as they come in quickly, you know, don't be surprised. You might be sorry on some of those things you threw a fit for. So
No, no, you can take that back. Don't take it
yeah.
back.
But I have to say, the miracles are coming in every day. Um, as I'm going through the process of, looking for a house and getting all the financial paper and everything ready, I went and checked my student loans because I had to give them, what my total balance was. I opened my student loans page. My balance was 0. And my loan was in good standing. I'm like, I'm not calling and asking that. We're
Right.
leaving it right there. Thank you, universe.
Right.
May I send every one of the loan officers Reiki? Thank you. Yeah,
that's
but
great. That's great.
$60,000, poof, gone.
Wow.
And the loan officer told me it had happened to him. And that was my big fear, was I wasn't going to be able to afford a nice enough home. I'm not, and you ladies know me, I'm not looking for a mansion. I'm really looking for a house with good bones, that it's in a safe area. If I've got to replace floors, if I've got to paint walls, if I've got to, replace carpeting, redo a kitchen, I don't mind doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as, the water is good, the electricity is safe, the roof is good, foundation strong, we got it. We got windows, we got walls, we're good. And to get that was, one of those miracles that
Yeah, they're coming.
so they're coming.
They're coming.
So just sit back and don't doubt and
Let
be so
her
thankful.
let her story give you that feeling. Like, how would you feel? Let her story like help you understand that she's a real person. We know her.
I'm a real person and I'm a Capricorn. So let me tell you, that double fee right there.
Yes.
Yes.
So let that inspire. I would say people inspiring people. That just notification just came on my iPad. People inspiring people. So that's a good note to have. People inspiring people. So let this person inspire you.
I feel like both of our faces, if somebody could have screenshotted that, would be like, where are you on the spiritual journey? It's like synchronicity.
That's where I am. So yes.
And maybe this is my making up for everybody I led astray in high school.
Now she inspires people.
Yeah. There's some kids sitting there going, there ain't no way. Mm-mm.
All right, then, people. I know what's going on because it's probably getting interesting weather-wise here and going in and out. Because they said something, so I don't know. I have to find out later on what you said. But all I was like, yay, whatever. I know it got rid of. So anyway, on that part. So let us end on that note. I think that's a nice place for us to put a pin. We've already done our community tab, so all we need to do is just to sign off and to get out of here. And April Williams is going somewhere, so we will leave her to dead last on that one, or life last. That's a better way or put it in. All right, then, Kathy D, get us on out of here.
Well, empty out all the virtual sand out of your shoes and socks. Make sure you take your own sand buckets and toys home. Clean up any trash that is around the sandbox, whether it's yours or someone else's. And wishing you your best life ever. We'll see you real soon.
Right on time.
Stay blessed, stay golden, and remember, you were made for this golden life.
And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. All right, then. Till next time on the Playground Experience, we'll be talking to you or swinging next to you real soon. All right, then. See ya.
Hello.